I'm going to start with a brief overview of the case study, the information that was given to us, and some ways that we can extrapolate and manipulate the data sets and data points to get the answers that we need. And this is based off of quiz 2 for the epidemiology course. Investigators in the Netherlands conducted a study to investigate the prevalence, incidence, and mortality of COPD in the general population. The source population is comprised of 185,325 men and women aged 40 or older. The study started on January 1st, 2000, and all patients were followed for the development of COPD from study entry until they were either diagnosed, removed from the database, or July 1st, 2007. And they were also monitored and followed for any occurrences of COPD related death from the study entry until they either died, they were removed, or the cutoff date, which was July 1st, 2007. The first thing that I think is important to go over is the equations, because without knowing the nuances of the equations, your answers aren't going to be right. So the first one is cumulative incidence, and this is the new cases over time divided by the population at risk over time. And so the population at risk is different from the general population. For example, when you're calculating the population at risk, you have to be sure to remember to subtract the prevalent cases, because in this case of COPD, you can't include people who've already had a history of COPD or who currently have COPD into the numbers of people who got it over time. So they have to be subtracted from the people from the general population. So for example, I'll get to that later. For prevalence, this is just the number of existing cases at a point in time divided by the total population at a point in time. So for example, to calculate the prevalence for males starting January 1st of 2000, you would just do 3158 divided by 89,697. You'll get a number, and then I think you'll multiply times 100, and then that'll give you the prevalence for males at that point in time. Incidence rate is the new cases during the time period divided by the total amount of person time at the point of observation, but it has to be at the at-risk population. Thankfully, in this case, that information was provided to us, so that's something we don't have to calculate. So, for question 1, it's asking me to summarize the cumulative incidence results in words for all participants, males and females. So the first thing we would have to do is to calculate the cumulative incidence. So what I did for males is I took the base population, which was 89,697, and subtracted 5,595 because those are the prevalent cases, and then I got 84,102 males who would be considered at risk for COPD. And so all you do, you slap that 84,000 as your denominator, and then you just pull down the number of incident cases during the follow-up period, which was from January 1st, 2000, all the way to July 1st of 2007. So it'll be 995 over 84,102, and it'll give you 0.011, and you multiply times 100 to get your percentage point, which is roughly 1.15% of incidence of COPD in males. For females, I went ahead and did it just to, so it'll be the same thing. Total population of females is 95,628 minus the 2437, which is the prevalent cases in females, and you get 93,191 females at risk. Slap that in your denominator, and then your numerator is going to be the incident cases or the cases that happened over the life of the study, which was 718. Then it gives you 0.0077, and that equals 0.77% incidence in females. So what we can extrapolate from this is that over the course of the study, which was from January 1st to 2007, that there was a higher incidence in males than there was females. So all you'll do from now on is you'll just, to get the cumulative incidence, you'll go ahead and add both your numerators and your denominators, and then you're going to get a 0.0096, which will give you 95.9695 for your cumulative incidence. So the correct answer choice would be the overall proportion of population who will develop COPD is 0.95 with a higher proportion in males in comparison to females who will develop COPD between January 1st, 2000 and 2007. Our findings mathematically correlate and coincide with that. Let's see. All right, so question 2, and I'm going to skip around a little bit because some of the answers kind of like are self-explanatory based off what we already found. But this one says, summarize the point prevalence of COPD amongst males, females at the baseline of January 1st, 2000. So if we come back over here, all we see is that the prevalence is the existing cases at a point in time, which it was given to us, which was January 1st, 2000, divided by the total population at time. So to find the point prevalence amongst females, all we would do is put the 2437 as the numerator divided by the total population of females, which would be comprised of the 95,628, which I have right here, and it gave me 0.025 times 100, which is 2.5%. And the point prevalence for males, same thing, 3158, which is the prevalent cases or already existing cases at that baseline, divided by 89,697, and then they gave me 0.035 times 100, and they gave me 3.5%. And so to summarize the point prevalence of COPD amongst males and females at the baseline, we can say without a shadow of a doubt that on that day, the point prevalence was higher in males than it was females on January 1st, 2000. Question 3 is asking the cumulative incidence of COPD among males from January 1st, 2000 through July 1st, 2007, which we already did, and it is 1.1 something percent, but that would be over the life of the study, so we already have that answer, and we extrapolated that from that. See, the point prevalence, we already calculated, this is number 4, we already calculated that, the point prevalence of COPD among men at the baseline, which would be here, that's 3.5% on January 1st, 2000. And if it gives you the option in a time, that is the most correct and accurate answer. Don't just pick a percentage. If it has the percentage and then it has another answer choice that's the percentage point in the date and time, then that's the answer you go with. Question 5 is calculate and identify the cumulative incidence of COPD among all participants from January 1st, 2000 to July 1st, 2007. And that's why I really loved question 1, because it summarized a lot of the key information for things. And we already calculated the cumulative incidence, which you could just add the incidence rates for males and females and divide it, you got it, which is the 0.95, 0.96 is what I got, but right around there, and that's over the study period from July 1st, 2000 to 2007. Answer 6 is, what is the incidence rates of COPD per 1,000 person years for all participants during the study? So for this one, maybe I was doing too much, but I went ahead and calculated the incidence rates individually, and then I added and divided everything because it made it very simple for me to understand. So the incidence rates per 1,000 person years for females, let's start with that, which is going to be your cases divided by person years at risk within that population. So we already know that there are 718 incidents, but it's going to be over the total. Incidence rate per 1,000 person years for females. Let's start that back. It'll be the cases divided by the person years of at-risk population. So it'll be the 718, which is that's how many cases happened over that 7-year period, divided by 312,174, which is the amount of person years that was observed amongst the whole population that was at risk within females. And technically, this is not right, even though it can be right to some, but it's not right in the context of what the question is asking. It's asking for person years. So what I do, I set up, my little equation here, x divided by 1,000, cross multiply, and I get x is 2.29 cases per 1,000 person years for women. And so I do the same thing with the males, which is new cases over person years of at-risk population. So we know the new cases over the 7-year span is 995 for men. And then we're going to divide that by 284,286 person years as seen in the chart. And we're going to set up our like for like, cross multiply situation. And then X for males is going to be 3.49 cases per 1,000 person years for males. And you can really get like a roundabout extrapolation by just adding these two numbers and then dividing by 2, and then that'll give you an average around what it's asking for, which is going to be like 2.89 is what I got, but it's going to be 2.9 cases per 1,000 person years, which I'm going to, let's see. Oh no, actually I'm wrong, I lied. I did it down here where I did the number of incident cases divided by the person years, and it got me 2.87-ish. That's the most correct choice. It'll be obviously and abundantly clear which answer choice it is, but that's what I got for that. But you could also do it that way too, where you add in the cases per 1,000 person years for males and females and divide by 2, and it'll give you the answer. All right, and we're going back to, it asks for the point prevalence on question 7, which was already been calculated right here, which it says it's 2.55%, but I got 2.5%, still correct. And the formula to calculate the incidence rate, number 8, is right here. Number 9, let's see, 10. See, we already got the incidence rate per 1,000 person years right here. See, number 11 is, see, the incidence rate COPD for males is right here. Number 12. All right, so point 12 is asking for the point prevalence of all the participants in the study at the baseline, which is January 1st, 2000. So it's really, really easy. I already calculated it. It's right here. Your point prevalence, remember, it's going to be your prevalent cases divided by the total population. So if it's asking what is that, you're basically just going to do 5595 divided by 185,325, and then that's going to give you 0.03019 times 100, and then that's going to give you 3.019%. And oh wait, technically that is incorrect. You got to put the date too if it allows. 2000, and then there you go. That would be the most correct answer. 13. It gives a summary, and the summary basically says the overall number of new cases of COPD was 2.9 cases per 1,000 person years, which we have that right here, so that's roughly in the roundabout area. However, COPD was more likely to occur among males than females during January 1st, 2000 to July 1st, 2007. And so it's going over the whole time. It's not just saying like it's not talking about the point prevalence. It's not talking about the already existing cases. It's talking about the incident cases. So if it's talking about the incident cases, we already know that it's talking about the cumulative incidence over. Well, no, it's talking about the incidence rate over the time. And yeah, the incidence rate for women, we remember it was 2.29 cases per 1,000 person years for women and 3.49 cases per 1,000 person years for males. So if that statement would be true. And okay, and number 19, I skipped over a few because it just requires knowing definitions, but number 19 is just asking how to calculate the total population at risk for COPD among females from January 1st, 2000 to 2007. And remember, at risk, just total population minus prevalent cases. So we can go back down to here and it'll be 93,191. So it'll be this is how you would calculate it. And yeah, that's my little wrap up of the quiz.